So Melinda, I want to thank you for joining me today. We're here to talk about the new Tiguan. You know, you'd call this a refresh, but this is just more than a mild refresh, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. This is an all-new vehicle. It's the Volkswagen Tiguan for the model year 2025, and all the sheet metal is completely new. We're riding on a new platform, the MQB Evo platform from Volkswagen. We've actually made the car higher. You'll see that the hood line is more distinct and has a better presence than it did in the outgoing model. The car is slightly wider. And while we've maintained the wheelbase of the outgoing model to ensure that the interior spaciousness remains, the front and rear overhangs have been shortened to give it a more dynamic and sporty presence.
And then how about some of the styling cues, the upgrades that you think are important to this model?
Yeah, absolutely. I think the first thing that pops out is this new color. This is avocado green pearl. We've also added Monterey blue pearl and sandstone uni. They are fabulous, sophisticated colors that we really feel resonate with the positioning of this car. You're going to see here the R-Line body kit. This is the top of the line SEL R-Line. And it's not turned on right now, but it does come with a front and rear illuminated logo, illuminated light bars in the front and rear. And this car has so much lighting. Even the door handles and the mirror lights illuminate. So it's really nice.
And one of the things that I think is kind of important for the model in this segment especially is that you've upped the wheel size.
Yes.
You can get a 20-inch wheel now, which is pretty impressive for the segment.
Yeah, it absolutely is. I don't know if there's any other core competitors that offer that right now. So we have a wheel palette that ranges from 17 inches all the way up to 20, and both of our R-Lines, including the SE R-Line Black, come standard with 20-inch wheels.
And then one of the other things you're very competitive with is power on this vehicle as well, too.
Absolutely. So we've upgraded the engine up from 184 horsepower of the outgoing model to 201. It is absolutely what our customers were asking for, and it's combined with about 170 pounds of weight reduction. So the power to weight ratio is substantially improved, which means that this car is going to be so much more responsive than it is today, which it's already responsive today, but it's just going to give it that extra oomph.
And then how about front wheel drive, all wheel drive? How does that kind of work out for the vehicle?
Yeah, absolutely. So we've carried over the same trim structure that we have in the outgoing model. We have the S, the SE, and the SE R-Line Black. All of those are available with front wheel drive and all wheel drive. And that top trim comes standard with all wheel drive. That's the SEL R-Line that you see here.
Well, Melinda, do you think there's anything we're missing on the exterior here?
You know, I don't know about that. I think we've covered most of it. I think maybe if we move to the rear, there's this really cool feature that
let's walk back there.
It's kind of hidden in the infotainment. We're not going to be able to see it on the video now. But you can choose from 3 welcome animations for the tail lights. So you can go through those in the infotainment and choose how your car greets you.
Cool. Well, why don't we hop on to the inside, because I think there's some really cool stuff on there too.
Awesome.
Now that we're on the inside here, I think the first thing that really grabs your attention is this gigantic big old screen that you've put on the inside.
Yeah, absolutely. So this is our available 15-inch screen. It does come standard on that top trim, the SEL R-Line. But the standard screen, so the screen that you can get for $29,000 is 12.9-inch screen, 12.9 inches. That's significantly larger than almost all of our competitors.
And the other thing that I really like about this interior, especially on this SEL R-Line, are just some of the appointments and some of the materials that you've used. I'm trying to try and get in. You can see you've got a wood look here, and it just goes into this really nice, like, deep leather color.
Yeah. Sorry about that. I was hoping the lights would come on, but it's going to beep because I don't have.
Oh, because, yeah, that was one of the ambient lighting.
Yeah,
is another
there's
big
ambient
thing.
lighting there, yeah.
And you even have, what did you call them that you can go through? Were they
The
like
atmospheres?
The atmospheres,
Yes,
yeah. Can
absolutely.
you describe that a little bit?
Yeah, so there's this knob in the middle on the center console. We call it the driving experience dial. It controls volume and drive mode select, but it also controls atmospheres. And let's see if it'll let me take us through it real quick. So what you do is you're going to push, and then we're already here on the atmospheres, and you'll turn the dial to select what you want. You can also choose not to have it on, but let's say we pick joy. Oop, I apologize. Give me 2 seconds. sorry, you pick Joy, it's going to have some preset settings. The first thing that you're going to notice is that the color matches the color of the widget, but it has audio settings that it's going to adjust, and it's going to adjust your ambient lighting. So it's just a quick way to customize the whole interior of your car without, you know, fiddling on the infotainment screen, setting all that. However, if you don't like any of the predetermined atmospheres, you can actually make your own. There's one that's called custom.
And then how about the driver's instrument cluster? Is that a new digital display for Tiguan?
Yes, this is a new digital display in terms of the HMI, but also in terms of the size. So last year we had the 10.25-inch VW Digital Cockpit Pro, which is customizable only on our top trim. This driver display actually becomes standard with the all-new model. So no matter which Tiguan you buy, this is the driver display that you will have, and you can customize it in any which way, adjusting these widgets here on the left and the right to show the information that you feel is crucial.
And I will say, you know, I'm a tall guy, I'm 6'4", and my driving partner is the same height as me, and I'm sitting behind his seat. Yeah. There's some very good room back here.
Yeah, that was the benefit of not adjusting the wheelbase, is that we've been able to maintain that leg space. And honestly, these seats, as you mentioned, are very far back. Like, I can't reach the gas pedal right now with my 5'6" stature. So there is definitely plenty of space in this vehicle.
Yeah, I really feel like you guys have set this very well for the North American market. I think you've kind of hit the customer right on the head.
Awesome. And for those customers, look at these. We got physical buttons. One cool thing that I will call out, because I honestly love this feature, being an owner of a GTI myself, this center console armrest is adjustable, just like in the GTI. You can pull it, you can adjust the height to your liking, so if you want to go up here, and then you can pull it out, whatnot. And it helps you to comfortably rest and be able to select this knob as you want, or just sit here. I love this feature because, as I just mentioned, I'm 5'6", not the tallest. And that was one of the weak points I felt in the current Tiguan, is that when I would move forward to a point where I felt comfortable as a woman driving, there was this chicken arm going on. I call it chicken arm. And that's fixed. And here we don't have the issue anymore.
Well, Melinda, I want to thank you so much for your time. I really appreciate it.
Absolutely. Thanks for having me.
Thanks. So I first want to take a moment and expand on something that Melinda just said. She said this vehicle has a long wheelbase and short overhangs. Now that's something that's very specific to the North American Tiguan. I believe the version in Europe has a shorter wheelbase. There is a VW model that has the same wheelbase as the North American Tiguan, but VW calls that the Tayron, and that vehicle has longer overhangs than the Tiguan, which allowed it to add a third row to the back, which the Tiguan does not have. Another thing that Melinda said is that this vehicle has moved to the MQB Evo platform. MQB is the name of the platform that Volkswagen uses for almost all of its ICE models, and the Evo version is an upgrade to that. So you get nicer wheels, those big 20-inch wheels we were talking about. There's upgrades to the powertrain. You get these nice big screens on the inside. The materials are nice. You even get massaging front seats. And I believe that's what the North American customer really wants. I think that's the right combination for them, I should say. But will that have an impact on sales? Right now, VW is selling about 95,000 Tiguans in the North American market. And last year, that was up nearly 24%. And they are bringing a new turbo model to this lineup as well. That's going to have something like 265 horsepower. And I believe that's tops for this segment. But what I think they really need is a hybrid. Hybrid sales are taking off all over the place. And I think it would fit very nicely in this segment. VW did say that they are bringing a hybrid to North America, but they wouldn't say which model or when. However, the Tiguan is their #1 nameplate, so it just seems to make a lot of sense to me. Would love to know your thoughts on this Tiguan and what hybrids might do to its sales.